One day we're having dinner and I'm talking to my parents, and my dad told me, "Do you really want to leave? Do you really see yourself, getting out of here? You don't want to be here no more? If that's the case, you're leaving tomorrow." I was like, "What? How am I going to leave tomorrow? I'm not even prepared to leave."
Right.
Say, "You're leaving tomorrow." He packed my car up with all my stuff and kicked me
Okay.
out and said, "Leave." And it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Welcome to No Strings Attached, the place where we untangle honest conversations about business, reinvention, and the pursuit of the American dream. Hosted by Roger Magalhães, Brazilian-born, Boston-bred, Florida-based. He is an entrepreneur, speaker, and storyteller with 20 years of real stories, laughs, and screw-ups. This show is for anyone still searching for their place under the sun. So pull up a chair. The show is about to start. Here's Roger with no strings attached.
Hey, welcome to another show of No Strings Attached. My name is Roger Magalhães, and I am your host. If this is your first time here, welcome to the show. And if you have been here before, welcome back. Today, I'm talking to Rudy Nunes. He does window tinting and is a really good complement to window coverings. But before I get to that, I just to remind you about the show. I first started the show back in 2020 talking about tips and installations and classes and how to stand out in the window covering industry as an installer. But since I wrote a book, as a matter of fact, I have the book here, No Strings Attached, became more about how you share your struggles, how I share all the lessons, the ups and downs to become a 20-year business. So if you go to Instagram and Facebook, everything looks perfect. And we know that's not true. That's exactly what I do with the book. I share things that went well. I share things that really screw up. I share the pivots. And that's exactly how we're going to do with the show. And I'm going to bring Rudy in, and he's going to share with us. He does amazing work, but I'm sure there's a lot behind the scene that you don't see on Instagram. Right, Rudy? Come on up.
Absolutely. How you
Uh,
doing? Hey.
Good, man. How are you? Thanks for coming here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to be here.
You got, man. So, Rudy is actually a partner of mine we met through BNI, and BNI, for the ones that don't know, is a global company. They started in the US, but now they have branches all over the world. It's basically a company that create networking groups. They call chapters. And in this local chapter, you are the only one in your industry. So there's no competition. And the primary goal with that, you develop relationships in that group, and that group becomes your core source of income and referrals. It's not just come and give me all the referrals. You build trust, you build relationships out of that. And obviously, as we grow, and there is no professional in my chapter that does what I need to be done, you start reaching out to the neighbor chapters and say, hey, I'm looking for someone to do this kind of work. Do you guys know anyone? And that how my business pretty much grew in Massachusetts 20 years ago. And then when I moved to Florida, I didn't know one single person in Tampa. And I say, you know what? I should join BNI again so I can create my network down here. And through that network, through BNI, I was introduced to Rudy. And Rudy does window tinting. He does window tinting for automotive, but he also does window tinting for commercial and residential projects. And I said, dude, this is perfect because I don't want to get into it. And I don't think you want to get into window treatments either. So this is a good team. So if you have a job that they require more than window tinting, hook me up. And if I have jobs that require window tinting, I'll hook you up. And as a matter of fact, Rudy has done a few jobs for me already, just because I went to do shades for this commercial application. And they say, "Oh, can you do tinting?" And I say, "Absolutely." And then I didn't let another vendor come in and perhaps steal my work, or pretty much I lose altogether. So Rudy comes in as my sub. Everything is done. He controls his quality, which is amazing. And then I control schedule. I get paid. I pay Rudy. Everybody's happy. So he doesn't need to go after um, getting more work. The work comes automatically to him. I'm happy. I don't make a lot, but hey, I get everything in the house. So that's basically a good partnerships. If you do window treatments and you don't do tinting, perhaps is a good way for you to just get your feet wet and perhaps open other doors for income for you. So enough of me. Rudy, please introduce yourself. Tell me what you do, where you're coming from, um, all the goods and bads. Go
Awesome.
ahead.
Sounds good. Yeah. So my name is Rudy, owner of Schmootins, based out of Dover, Florida, but I basically service the entire Hillsborough County, Tampa Bay area specifically. Like to specialize in cars, houses, homes. I even do boats, which a lot of people don't know. They're a lot more work, so I try to steer away from them
Yeah.
because they're a pain. They're a pain. But if they come around, I still enjoy doing them. So that's pretty much what I do.
How long you been doing that?
So I'm going on 4.5 years now. 4 years on my own, but I have been doing it for about 5.5 years. I worked with another previous window tinting company, which was also mobile for about a year and a half. Just gained a bunch of experience, a lot of practice, and then after that, I just took off on my own.
Yeah, you mentioned mobile is one of the details I forgot to mention prior. Rudy doesn't have a shop that you bring your car, a building that you bring your car to it. He actually drives his trailer to people's homes, which is very convenient.
Yeah.
You can park
Yeah.
your car there, go to work, and, when you get back, all the magic already happened. Isn't that true?
Yep, absolutely. And new announcement. So I'm actually sitting in my shop here now. So this is my shop where I'm going to be working out of as well. But we are still strictly mobile. That's my main thing, is to bring the comfort to the clients. Make things as easy as possible for them. But for those who are looking to get a same day appointment, or maybe a later appointment, like evening times, we'll be here, which is where I'm actually having this podcast, and it's in my shop, which is a blessing, man.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Now, how did you get into this kind of business, this line of work?
So it was crazy how this thing came about. So when I first moved to Florida and I came down in 2019, I was more focused on becoming a YouTube influencer. That was my thing. I was very big, as a car enthusiast. My hobbies are cars and motorcycles. Besides family. So my thing was, me and my uncle are going to start this YouTube channel. We're going to get it to blow up, and we're going to change our lives with that.
Right.
That got shot down with a reality check so quick, because we thought that it was going to be a lot easier, and it's a full-time job. I mean, it's a whole full-time job that if you really don't do your research and look into it, it's going to smack you in the face when you start. And that's exactly what happened to us. So that went south, never did anything with it. So I decided to start learning how to install audio, because I was big into it. I came down to Florida 2017 with one of my vehicles to one of my friends down here to build this crazy music system for my vehicle. So I built a good relationship with them, and I ended up working with them once me and my uncle decided not to do anything with the YouTube stuff. And I was doing that for about a year. That was not going well. I was making $300 a week. I was making nothing. So I knew that was not going to work out. So then this window tinting company came to get a music system installed in one of the work vans that he had. And I ended up leaving with that guy. And I did window tinting for about a year. And I told them when we were working, I told them, you're going to be my last boss. So I already had a plan I want to create a business out of window tinting. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's exactly how it happened. Everything that I said came to fruition, and I haven't looked back ever since.
Absolutely. And I actually agree with you on that. Some people call the law of attraction. If you really put your mind to it and you have that mentalized in your brain, eventually happens. You know what I mean? You're probably going to go 100%. Some ups and downs, but if you really focus and you're really wanting that to be, eventually the whole universe, gravitates towards your goals. Now, you mentioned a couple of times when you moved to Florida. Where are you originally from?
So, born in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
I lived up there, jumping around from different cities in New York till about 9 years old, I think it was. Close to 10 years old. And after that, we shot down to Pennsylvania, Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Uh-huh.
Then we did about 12 years up there. My dad, I was not happy up there. I was depressed, getting into the streets, going down the wrong path.
Okay.
So I knew something needed to change because, like I said, if I stay up here, I'm either going to end up dead up in jail.
Right.
Dead or in jail are my only two options if I stay up here, so it's time to go.
Right.
But I was scared to take the leap of faith and just jump. And, one day we're having dinner and I'm talking to my parents and my dad told me, do you really want to leave? Do you really see yourself, getting out of here? You don't want to be here no more? If that's the case, you're leaving tomorrow.
Okay.
I was like, what? How am I going to leave tomorrow? I'm not even prepared to leave.
Right.
Say, you're leaving tomorrow. He packed my car up with all my stuff and kicked me out and said, leave.
Really?
And it was the best thing that ever happened to me because if I would have never left that day, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Now, did you have good parents or your parents were on the wrong path as well?
Oh, no, amazing parents. It was just me hanging out with the wrong crowd.
You were the black sheep at that point.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. And then they said, all right, we love you so much that we want you out of the house. Get the heck out of here and kind of figure it out?
No, they not so much kicked me out in that way. He kicked me out in the sense, pushing me to start a new chapter in my life because I've been talking about it for so long.
Okay.
I've been telling them that I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be in Pennsylvania anymore.
Okay.
And he said, if you're so ready to go, take the jump and go. Yeah. And if it doesn't work out for you, you come back. But at least give it a try.
Right.
And if my dad would have never pushed me and said, you're leaving tomorrow.
Right. You're probably still there.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. Not even. Probably dead or in jail.
Okay.
And I was raised by amazing parents, great childhood, raised with amazing morals. I went to college, I did graduated high school, all that stuff.
You did.
It was just, absolutely. And it was just, the town that we were living in was so small.
Uh-huh.
So, it took you nothing to find the wrong crowd and find yourself into a little bit of trouble. And that's exactly what was going on.
Especially if you like cars and, girls and the whole thing just derails from there, right?
yeah, absolutely. That's where it all starts. You get out there, you start hanging out a little bit in the street and you meet the wrong people and you can get involved into some stuff fast.
So how old were you?
When I came down, I was 18, 19 years old when I moved down here to Florida. So I was still super young.
Okay. And how old was your uncle?
My uncle was 30-something.
Okay. And he said, okay, here's the trouble. Let me handle this guy. And was it that like that?
Yeah. My relationship with my uncle is like that. Like my relationship is very raw with my uncle.
Like an older brother?
Yeah, yeah. It's not even like uncle and nephew. It's
Uh-huh.
like brotherhood. So it's like that's my brother.
That's cool.
So the raw stuff was all out in the open with him. Like he knew
Yeah.
everything. He took
Okay.
me into his house and he said, "Come down, come live with me.
Right.
Come
Right.
live with me and start a new chapter and see how it works out for you." And that's exactly how it went.
Well, is uncle from your mother's side, from your father's side?
So yeah, my mom's brother.
Your mom's brother. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And then did he regret it when you came and said, "Oh, geez, this guy is a lot tougher than I thought"?
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
One thing with me is, I can respect, household. I'm a very humble individual. I
That's
have my
cool.
morals. I know how to behave.
Nice.
So I'm a very easy person to be around and very
Okay.
outgoing. And me and my uncle, we've always had this connection that's been unbreakable since I was a young kid, like super young baby.
Is that right?
He has pictures of me carrying me, as a baby and everything. And we just
Yeah.
always had a very close bond,
Right.
since I was a kid. So it was comfortable living with him.
That's cool. And now, how did he ended up in Florida?
He's same thing, just didn't want to be because he comes from New York as well.
Right.
My grandparents from my mom were the first ones to take off to Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
leaving New York. Everybody follows. Kind of like how it works. Wherever the grandparents go, the whole family starts to follow one by one. One family at a time.
Somebody
Yeah, so
gotta take somebody gotta take the hit first, and then they smooth the path, and then everybody else start coming.
Yeah, exactly. So that's exactly how it happened in my family.
Yeah.
So we all started going. My uncle ended up going to Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And he was there, but he was not happy. Same thing. He felt depressed out there. His family didn't like it. His kids, wife. And he was the first one to take the leap of faith and said, "I'm leaving and I'm moving to Florida."
Cool.
And after that, I was the second one to leave Pennsylvania and come down to Florida.
Okay.
And that's how he ended up here. Was he couldn't stand Pennsylvania anymore either.
Yeah. So
it's
you
cold
stay
out there, man.
Yeah, I'm from Boston, so I know what you're talking. I relate.
yeah. It's brutal, man. It's horrible.
So you came and you and him decided that it was going to be a YouTube channel, going to talk about cars and make all these big $1 million every week, yada, yada, yada. And then reality came and said, "Damn, it's not as easy as it looks," right?
yeah. It's tough. It's tough. It's a full-time job.
It is a full-time job for sure. And there's a lot of people, they kind of dream about these. I want to become an influencer. And an influencer is a real job, as you said. And there's a lot more to it than just spend your hours. You need to be charismatic. You need to think about the content. You need to really have your own kind of set of language to hook up with all of these people. So it definitely is not for everyone. But apparently you have all the talents because your work is just amazing. And I'm saying not because I'm in front of you, just because I refer you all the time. And I guarantee I'm super, super picky about my quality, my work, my ethics. And I, hands down, can just let you go. As a matter of fact, you just did a job for me this week. I not even went there. I not even know where you went. I only have the address on a calendar. You know what I mean? I trust you so much. They say, "Dude, just handle it." And it goes from there. Now, it's funny because when I was in Massachusetts and I had a little shop over there, and next door to my shop, there was another tinting guy. And I saw how he worked, and he worked really well too. So I had a kind of similar relationship as I have with you. In Massachusetts, there's not a lot of window tinting business up there because the sun is not as brutal as it is down in Florida. So over here, we get way more requests for that. But my point was, before I met this guy up there, I tried to install tinting myself a couple times. man, it's hard to make that thing just bond with the glass and no bubbles. And seriously, I'm super annoying about my work. As I mentioned it, everything has to be perfect. I couldn't make it perfect, and I couldn't make a piece doing that. So how do you make so smooth? It's almost like it's painted over. You can really tell there's a film on it. So what is the trick? What is the magic?
I don't think there is like, a set trick or magic. I mean, it all comes down to your work ethic, how you want to stand out from others, what methods you've tried that work for you that you feel like give you the best results.
Okay.
I have gotten to the point where I've like become one with my craft, with what I do. It's like something that's like second nature for me. Sometimes I get jobs, where it's challenging, but it's not challenging to the point where I can't figure it out. I instantly come up with like, okay, I'm going to tackle this way. And my goal is to make window tint applications look like glass, that you cannot tell that there's film on there. That's how clean I like to make my work.
Yeah, you're already doing that, because a lot of times I go to this and say, did he apply tinting to this window already or not?
Yeah.
So, you do really fantastic work, man. Seriously.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Now, I already know the answer. This is kind of tricky question. So did you go to school? How did you learn this thing?
No school.
Yeah, I know that.
No school. No school. Just a lot of wasted money on material and trial and error and a lot of hours of training and working for free.
And watching YouTube videos too, you said?
YouTube videos, I tried at first, and they were so vague, and I just didn't connect with them. So I just threw myself out there. I made a Facebook post on Facebook, window tinting. And I was out there practicing on whoever hit me up through there. I was out there just practicing, and I will never forget it. I had this thing where trucks were so intimidating to me when I first started.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wouldn't even have the courage to go out and do the job, and I would turn them down. And I will never forget it. One day I was stuck in this truck, and I went through 2 boxes of ceramic film, which cost me over $1,000.
Just trying to make it work.
Just trying to apply film to 2 front windows. And I went through 2 boxes of 100 feet of ceramic film, and I couldn't complete the job.
You couldn't get it right.
I couldn't complete the job. I had to tell them, I'm sorry, but I can't complete it. And I went home so defeated that day.
Right.
And it's crazy.
We all have those days.
Yeah. It's crazy. I do those vehicles with my eyes closed now, but it boils down to your work ethic. Are you willing to quit? What's it going to take for you to say you're just done, or are you willing to even go down that path of saying you're done? It's like, no.
It's funny you're saying that, because one guy from my BNI group posted yesterday on Facebook just a random question, say, would you rather have all the easy jobs, or you get a tough job and things don't go well, would you quit? And then my answer was, I'd rather take the hard jobs, because they're gonna push the envelope. They're gonna make you go through hardship, and you're gonna come up stronger on the other side. Would you agree with me?
Yeah. And I think that applies to everything in life.
Everything in life.
There's a bunch of quotes. There's a bunch of quotes that I listen to, do what's easy, and you're going to find out hard solutions. Do what's hard, and your life is going to get easier. And I've seen that happen to me, man, especially after coming up an entrepreneur. I do what's hard, and things get easier for me. Whenever I try to even flinch at taking the easy route, everything just bites me in the butt.
Right. Absolutely. So tell me about the system you have that kind of cuts out the shapes for each car based on a computer system. Isn't that right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So
That's
it's a
really
big selling
awesome, man.
point. It's a
Okay.
big selling point for me because you get a lot of mobile guys. I basically come to you as a shop on wheels.
Right.
I have everything in my trailer to
You're
complete a
supposed to
job the
have
same way. Yeah.
you're supposed to have every single source right there with you, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I do. I have a
Uh-huh.
plotter. I have a plotter that all I have to do is type in your year, make, and model, and it gives me every single window that's on your vehicle, and I don't have to apply any blades to your glass on your vehicle. And
Is
people
that really
love that.
for real?
Yeah, no blades. I don't have to cut on your vehicle to tint your vehicle.
Because, as I said, there was a guy next door to me in Massachusetts. He
Yeah.
had a shop like a garage. The guys come in, and he sprayed the water or whatever liquid on the window. He put the
Yep.
films on it to stick, and then he
Yep.
comes with the blades, just scoring
Yep.
all around. You don't do that.
Yep. No, at all.
Wow.
Yeah, at all. I just type in your year, make, and model into my system, and my machine cuts all the windows out for me. So all I got to do is just install after that.
So, but this should cost a lot of money, right?
Yeah, so you're looking at about a $7,000 machine, depending which one you choose to go with and size. So it's an investment. When I first started my company, I was hand cutting for the first 2 years because I didn't have the money to buy this machine.
Right.
And then
But
I
you
was able
said,
to
you
buy
know what?
one.
But you say, you know what? I already know how to cut it, but screw it. I want to go to the next
Yeah,
level, and I want to be top notch
yeah,
in what
yeah,
I do.
absolutely. You got to start somewhere, and I started with nothing, working out of my trunk. This
Right.
vehicle that you see behind me
Uh-huh.
was Smooth Tint's first work truck.
Is
Out
that
of this
right?
trunk, I was working. Yeah,
That's cool. That's really
yeah,
cool. So, how does the work? I mean, I know you were big on Facebook. I see all the massive,
yeah,
super nice, sharp cars that
yeah.
you posted when you get it done.
Mhm.
What else you do for marketing?
So very simple. Google is where I like to really focus on, especially with the Google reviews.
Yeah.
I noticed that that's the method that works the best for my company.
Uh-huh.
And I really like to tackle and engage on social media because everybody's on social media nowadays.
Right.
I mean, that's where everybody is. But I feel like those elderlies that are very successful, that are just very straightforward, get to the point. Can you do this service for me? Can you do it, the most perfect way possible? I'll pay
Right.
whatever you want. That's where
Right.
Google comes into play.
Okay.
And
Because
that's why I like to really hone in on Google.
they see the nice glowing reviews from previous clients.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely. You
And
don't see,
and I guess you're dealing with what is the word? With a product that is pride for these people, right? This super nice, cool looking
Yeah.
car. They spend a ton of money and they want just perfect so they can show
Yeah.
off to their friends. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously to bring, the comfort to them.
Right. But that's a lot of pride in have the car at its best possible shape, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. And I
So-
assume if you do well, they refer to their friends, which they also have the same nice cars too, right?
Yeah, it comes tenfold. You catch a Ferrari, and there's going to be, possibly 6 more coming your way because they hang out with that caliber of,
With
of
other
vehicles.
other Ferrari owners, right?
Yeah, it's bound to come your way. You just got to make sure you catch that first one.
Right. But you didn't know that you're gonna come this way, or did you have this in your mind and say, I know you said you want to do tinting and you're gonna be the best of it, but did you realize it was gonna come exactly as it came, or did you had a lot of oh shit moments like, oh man, I'm gonna give up. This is not for me. Or I know you mentioned the 100 feet roll or for one truck, but you say, you know what? I'm gonna overcome this hump and I'll keep, doing it until I become the best.
Yeah, so there's a few, highs and lows throughout my years of since I've opened my company, and
Uh-huh.
but I will never forget it. When I first started my company, within the first year, I knew I wasn't going to make barely any money, and I was okay
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. Hey there, Roger here. Just a quick note. This episode is brought to you by blindsonline.com. If you've been thinking about new window treatments, I want you to check them out. I am a partner there, and I can tell you firsthand, the quality, the selection, and the service are the real deal. Listen, over 5,000 five-star reviews don't lie. Whether you are a homeowner or a trade professional, blindsonline.com has you covered. Easy process and affordable prices. And because you are supporting the show here, I want to support you as well. Use coupon code podcast at the checkout and you get 10% off of your order. There's a link in the show notes. And by the way, if you're getting value from the show, do me a big favor and share these with someone who needs to hear. Word of mouth is everything to me, and you know it. And I really appreciate your support. Now, back to the show.
I didn't even have, a really good cushion either as far as savings to even push forward.
Yeah.
Thanks to my fiance, she was there and she was my rock. To be able to support me when I wasn't making a penny for it.
Sure.
I'll never forget it though. I told her we didn't have a lot of money in savings, and I will never forget it. I told her, I don't care what it takes. I need to see my company through.
Right.
I don't care what it's going to take. And the little bit of money that we have in savings, we will burn through it, but I need to see my company through. And I knew that I was going to make it happen one way or another.
You just had the drive, and I don't care what it takes. I'm going to get there.
I had the fire in me. Yeah, I had that fire in me. And I said, I don't care if we go broke. Yeah. I need to see this company through. I need to make sure this grows. And my first year, I made no money, $0 in profit. And then my second year is when I had that breakthrough. And even within my second year, I remember I had a month that I didn't make a penny. And no, the phone didn't ring, just nothing. It was silent. And I was home just driving all through the cities of Tampa, dropping off business cards to dealerships. I used to go to Walmart parking lots and I would put my business cards on windshields, and any car that I saw with no tint, I was putting a card on it. And nothing was working. And, I was still had that fire in me. And I said, there's nothing that's going to stop me from seeing my company grow and make sure that I put this company into a 6-figure company.
Right.
And
you touch a really important point that people sometimes they don't realize is the spouse, the relationships we have, because if they don't support us, no matter how well, how big of a drive you have, you still need to put money on the table. You need to support yourself one way or the other. If you don't have that support coming from your family, nothing happens. So you had the support with your parents. I'm going to, push you out of the house because we really want the best of you. And you knew if it didn't work out, you still could come back to your parents.
Yeah, no, the door was always left open, yeah.
And with the fiancé, it's the same thing. And say, hey, you need to work harder because I need to make this work. Yeah. And if she wasn't on your side, maybe it could be something that you couldn't push for as long you had to push, right?
Yep. She was my number one supporter through my toughest lows in my company.
Right.
And without her, I would have been probably at wit's end trying to figure out what else was I going to do.
Right.
Because it was tough. There was times that were tough. And I don't regret a thing. I feel like everything, because not only did it push me even harder to make things happen. But I've grown like personally throughout those lows, that I've been able to apply those moments to like me as a human being, to my
Right.
family, to my spouse, become a better person in myself. Like I'd applied it to things within myself that have made me a better person than who I am today. And
Right.
it's just a blessing to think about where I was in certain moments throughout the last couple of years to where I am now, and who I've become, what my business has become, what my family has become. So it's great all the way around.
That's great. You see the climb getting to where you want to be. It's very rewarding. Say, yeah, hard work pays off, right? Eventually.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
and it's
cool.
only the beginning, which is the crazy part.
That's great.
You know, I haven't been in business for a long time. You know, I've only been in business for 5 years. 5 years.
Okay.
I mean, that's crazy.
So what is next? What's the plan for the next phase?
So, just my goal for 2027 is to make sure that I can hire a minimum of 1 to 2 employees, so I can grow a new chapter of my company, which is adding 3 additional services for Smooth Tints,
All right.
which are going to take me to the next level.
Sure.
And my goal is to get this company as big as I can make it, as big as I can get it. You know, I don't see any end. I don't see any ending to what I can turn my company into.
That's great,
So
though.
it's always just creativity. I go to bed thinking about what's next.
Yeah,
You know, what can I do tomorrow to push my company to the next level, just even a little bit tomorrow.
I can feel the computer heating up with all your fire.
Dude, it's when you're hungry, man, and you have that desire for growth, you lose sleep. You lose sleep because you're so focused and so ready for the next step. You know, sometimes I have to slow myself down.
You're very passionate. I can tell, and I love that.
Yeah.
And it's just a testament to your work. So we did a job at the Chase Bank not too long ago, and just to make a long story short, he was supposed to put like a white window film over the cashier's glasses. So they kind of built, it's kind of hard to explain, but they built a wall in front of the cashiers. So they just put this epoxy glass and they wanted to hide so the cashier, the people inside the bank didn't have to see the walls. So nobody really were going to see that other than the people inside the bank, not even customers or anything. So I went and I measured and I gave him all the measurements and he came to install. I was on that job that day. I said, dude, I need to dismantle this whole piece, this whole wall, piece by piece to make it right. And I said, Rudy, you don't need to do that. Nobody's going to see these. No. If I don't do that, everything's going to show. Seams here. Has to be perfect. So the guy spent 12 hours. I'm sure he didn't make any money on that job because the amount of labor involved. But the job is amazing. And I really appreciate you. But at the same time, I am the same way. It would bother me for the rest of my life if I do a job just, the easy way just because it was quick. And I don't do quick, so I truly understand you 100%. So you have pride in your work, and that shows. And for the ones that are listening to us, sometimes you really want to do it right, but it costs money. It's easy for me to say that to you now because you might be struggling, but don't care about the money. Care about the quality. The money automatically gonna come to you later because you left the best impression on that client, and that client gonna tell other people about your work. So go through the struggles. Don't drop your quality. Don't drop your standards just because you're tight. Suck it up It's part of the process, eventually gonna come back to you. Do you agree with me, Rudy?
Oh, 100%. I feel like that's a rule that should be applied to any company and every company.
Yes.
Can never skip on that rule.
Don't skip on quality because it comes back. If you skip it, it comes back as a bad reputation. If you do it right, it comes back as a door open for your next big work or your next big project, right?
Yep.
So besides tinting, besides car, besides, automobile enthusiastic, what else you do? What do you do on the weekends or when you're not working and thinking about how to grow your business?
Well, I work Monday through Saturday. So I rarely have, my chill times are Sundays and Saturdays evenings, which I dedicate to my family as much as I can.
Cool.
Or I'm on two wheels on a motorcycle. Sunday mornings is when I wake up and I hone in on my creativity and my plans for my company. I do my paperwork and I come up with just ideas that I've been thinking about throughout the week, but I make them concrete on Sunday mornings. Mm-hmm. I'm drinking that coffee Sunday morning. I'm just so hyper focused on everything. And I make concrete plans on what I can do physically to actually put these, creativity plans that I have throughout the week into fruition. How can I make them come true within this certain time frame?
That's cool.
And that's how, I'm able to push forward and stay dedicated to what I do in my craft and what my company really means to me and the future of my company.
Now, for the people in my in my industry, the window covering, what do you have any advice or any suggestions for the one like me that didn't do window tinting and decided to add window tinting to their offerings? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? When could they offer the window tinting versus window shades? Any input in that?
I feel like if it's something, it will boil down to which route they're going to take if that's a service that they're looking to add, within their company. Are you going to be doing it yourself? Is that something that you're physically going to be doing yourself in your company? Or are you going to do it the way you do it? You're going to find somebody that can put out the quality that you're, that can meet the standards that you abide by within your company. So it really all depends. All I say is that, if it is a service that you're going to add, within your company and there's something that you want to offer, just make sure that you're doing it the right way and don't lack on your standards and make sure that the connection you choose, or if you choose to do it, you're going to do it to the best of your ability, or that company is going to do it to the best.
But do you see window tinting as a complement to window shades, or is that more like a competition?
I do. Not even a competition. I feel like they go together because, with shades, they're either looking to cut down on some sun, privacy, cut down on some heat. So, which collides just with window tinting. We focus on style, protection, and comfort. Those are the three keys that I abide by.
Right.
Style, protection, and comfort. So you're giving the customer not only looks, if that's what they want, which shades do as well, to an interior space or an exterior space. You're giving them the comfort they're looking for, which is cutting down on the sunlight, cutting down on the amount of heat that enters through there. Then you're giving them the style. I mean, it's and the protection. So I feel like they go hand in hand, which is why I feel like me and you connect,
Right.
Not only do we connect because I don't want to do shades and you don't want to do tint. It's so easy for us to just click. So they're perfect together.
Right. I actually go one step further and I said, we provide, window treatments, which gives you protection against sun.
Yeah.
We give you privacy, and we protect the hardwood floors as long as you have the shades down. But you have a nice view, you raise the shades, now you don't have protection, from the sun.
Exactly.
the
Yep.
floor and the couch is still cooking, is still
Yeah.
bleeding over time.
Yep.
And that's exactly when window tinting comes in, because window
Yep.
tinting doesn't really give privacy, as more sun filtering and UV protection. But, you have shades for privacy, but you raise your shades, you have your view, and you still have window tinting filtering all the UV rays that should come
Yep.
in. Now they can't, because the UV there, the film is there to protect. So I think they complement each other. Plus,
Yep.
you kind of protect the shade, right? If you have
Yeah,
window
absolutely.
tinting, the sun doesn't come as harsh on the shade itself, and you
Yep.
have
Yep.
long time span with the shades too, having both, right?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. The biggest I feel like spec and important thing to window film is that 99% UV protection. It's amazing. Just any film that you put on there is going to give you that 99% UV protection, which is important because it protects your furniture, your flooring, your shades, anything that's sitting close within that area
Yeah,
of the windows. And depending on how many windows you have in those specific rooms, you know, it's going to cost you money in a couple of years.
right.
And especially here in the state of Florida, it's brutal.
It is
So
brutal.
it's an awesome feature that comes with tint.
Now, explain to me, what is the difference between a regular window tinting and a ceramic window tinting?
So with ceramic film, the most important thing is the way it's built, the technology they use to build ceramic film.
Uh huh.
It's a lot more stronger. It's stronger. It's a lot more durable. It lasts longer.
Okay.
Um, it gives you the highest levels of benefits that can come in a film with ceramic film. Now, as far as a non-ceramic film, you're not going to get those highest levels of benefits. You're probably looking at half or even less is what ceramic film can offer you. So it's a pretty
Okay.
big difference. Um,
Do
so
they
when
just
when
do they just last longer, or do they block more UV rays as well?
No, so you still get 99% UV protection from
No.
ceramic film and non-ceramic film.
Okay.
The key features are going to be that heat rejection, and obviously depending how dark you go, that glare reduction. But
Okay.
the heat rejection is going to be your top feature with ceramic film. It's just going to give you the highest level possible. So it's
Uh
going to
huh.
block a lot more heat.
Okay. And
More
just
expensive, but worth it.
more expensive, but it's worth it, right?
Yep, absolutely, 100%.
Okay. And they
You know,
they can be cut same way, any shape, or is there any limitations
yeah,
to that?
yeah.
Or no? Works the same way.
No limitations.
Okay.
Yep, works the same way, same process, same installation process. It's just you're paying for a much higher quality film that's going to give you, a longer lifespan, and it's going to give you that extra protection and comfort that you want. Um, now I always like to be upfront with the clients. I get clients that lease a lot of vehicles, so they're flying through vehicles, 1 to 2 years, 3 years, switching them
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So some of them do spend the money and still want the ceramic, for those
Uh-huh.
2 years. But then you
Yeah.
get those, that just, hey, I just want something for privacy and to cut down a little bit of heat. I don't need nothing expensive because it's not a car
Right.
I'm going to keep.
Right.
So
Right.
that's different. So that's what I feel like differentiates me as well. I'm very upfront and straightforward with all my clients,
Right.
and I will always recommend what I feel like is best for your money.
Uh huh. Now, as
So,
far as opacity, I know there's films that are clear, films that are kind of dark, films that are mirror. What is the primary
yeah.
difference between them?
So the darker you go, the stronger the film gets because it's cutting down on a lot more sun. But yeah,
When you
with
say
ceramic film and
when you say strong, it's kind of strong. You mean harder to rip, or kind of blocks more heat? What is it?
no stronger. I mean, where it's going to block a lot more heat. Those benefits that come with ceramic film are going to get higher.
Okay.
So it's going to block, a lot more heat, a lot more glare, You know, that 99% UV protection comes into play.
Uh-huh.
So that's what I mean by stronger. You know, the ceramic film is usually around a 2.0 mil thick film, so 2 mil thick.
Okay.
So it's already strong and durable. For you to rip ceramic film in half, it's not even Thor can do it. It's just
Really?
not.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. It's strong. It's very strong.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So,
And
but you don't
so
need to go dark to.
when do you use mirror film versus a dark film? What is the primary difference?
So reflective mirror films are going to be more for architectural. They You can use reflective films for moon roofs and stuff to get a lot more, you know, of that heat rejection. They're a lot more effective up top on the moon roofs.
Okay.
But primarily, 99% of your time, you're going to get that natural charcoal black appearance, you know, for automotive. That's
Okay.
what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Now, you want, you know, decorative mirrored film. They do have that, but it's going to be on a lot lower quality.
I
You know,
see.
so as far as a ceramic film can last you 10, 12 years, with a decorative film, you know, more for just decorative purposes, you know, you're going to lose that heat rejection. You're going to lose that 99% UV protection. You're going to lose that, you know, quality, and they can even last sometimes 7, 8 months. All depends.
Right. Okay.
So,
Cool.
yep. Yeah.
Man, it has been a pleasure. I
Absolutely.
feel your passion. I feel your fire, your drive, wanting to grow, wanting to learn, wanting to be a better Rudy tomorrow than the Rudy
Yeah.
today. Really
Yes.
appreciate your time here, kind of sharing your knowledge with all of us. So how people can find and follow you and check out your business and all of that.
So you can find me on Google at Smooth Tints. It's all one word. SMUUVETINTS. We're on Facebook and Instagram. We're also on TikTok. We are going to be adding some additional platforms like Twitter. We're going to hop on Instagram threads as well now. So, but just Smooth Tints is the way I can be found anywhere.
Cool, man. I really appreciate your time, dude. And
Yeah, no
I'll see
problem.
you. I'll see you at the next job.
Absolutely. It's the beginning, like you said. We're just getting started.
Absolutely. Thanks, man.
All
Enjoy
right,
your
Roger.
day. We'll talk
You
soon.
too. Have a good one, brother. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
And that's a wrap for today. Hope you're leaving with something that sticks. If this episode resonated, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. For more information, follow Roger at rogermagalhães.com and find the link in the show notes for a free chapter of his book, Nobody Told Me That. We'll see you next Sunday with no strings attached.